body positivity or aesthetic trend? The new age of natural, nude photography. There was a time when nude photography aimed for perfection. Perfect lighting, perfect symmetry, perfect bodies carefully shaped to fit cultural ideals of beauty. But today, something has changed. A different style has taken over social media feeds, photography books, and fine art galleries alike. Images with soft daylight, unedited skin, relaxed poses, stretch marks left visible, bodies presented not as fantasy, but as natural. And with this shift comes a difficult question. Is modern nude photography truly becoming more authentic and body positive? Or has natural beauty simply become a new aesthetic trend? The rise of body positivity changed visual culture in powerful ways. For decades, photography often celebrated impossible standards. Bodies were heavily retouched, controlled, and polished until they no longer resembled ordinary human experience. Then came a cultural reaction. Artists, photographers, and audiences began pushing back against perfection. More diverse body types appeared in magazines and campaigns. Scars, wrinkles, and imperfections were no longer automatically erased. The message was clear: the body does not need to be flawless to deserve visibility. And for many people, this shift felt liberating. In the new wave of nude photography, vulnerability became part of the aesthetic itself. Images began to feel quieter, more intimate. Subjects were photographed in natural light, in bedrooms, near windows, wrapped in blankets, or standing without dramatic posing. The goal was no longer untouchable glamour. It was emotional realism, at least on the surface. Because the internet has a way of transforming even authenticity into style. What starts as rebellion can quickly become visual trend. The natural nude now has its own recognizable language. Muted colors, minimal makeup, soft grain, neutral tones, carefully imperfect compositions. Ironically, spontaneity itself can become curated. Even vulnerability can become performative. And this creates tension within modern photography culture. Because when authenticity becomes fashionable, people begin to wonder, are we witnessing self-expression? Or simply a new version of beauty standards wearing softer clothing? Social media intensified this transformation. Platforms reward images that feel emotionally honest, but also visually appealing. As a result, many photographs balance carefully between rawness and aesthetic control. An image may appear effortless while being meticulously planned. The lighting still matters, the angles still matter, the composition still shapes perception. The difference is that perfection now disguises itself as imperfection. And yet, despite these contradictions, something meaningful has still changed. For many photographers and models, modern nude photography has become less about seduction and more about presence. People are using photography to reclaim visibility after years of shame, insecurity, or unrealistic comparison. Some use it to document healing. Others use it to challenge narrow beauty standards that once excluded them entirely. In these moments, the camera becomes more than a tool for aesthetics. It becomes a tool for self-definition. But body positivity itself is not free from criticism. Some argue that the movement has gradually been absorbed into branding and visual culture. Companies now market authenticity the same way older industries marketed perfection. The language changed, but the pressure to be visually desirable often remained. Only now, people are expected to appear effortlessly confident, naturally beautiful, and emotionally open all at once. And that expectation can become its own form of performance. So where does that leave modern nude photography? Perhaps somewhere in between, part genuine liberation, part evolving visual trend, because photography has always reflected cultural desires, not just individual expression. And today's culture is deeply fascinated with authenticity, softness, vulnerability, and emotional transparency. The camera simply mirrors those values back to us. In the end, the most important question may not be whether an image is perfectly authentic, but whether the person in the photograph had the freedom to define themselves on their own terms. Because body positivity is not truly about aesthetics. It is about agency, the ability to exist visibly without apology. And maybe that is why modern nude photography continues to resonate so strongly today. Not because it reveals the body, but because it reveals the ongoing human desire to be seen honestly, in a world that constantly turns identity into image.